Welcome back to another episode of the Talk Your Shit Sports Podcast. Welcome back. Before we go get started, I want everyone to subscribe to our YouTube channel, the Talk Your Shit Sports Podcast YouTube channel. Follow us on IG at Talk Your Shit Sports Podcast, Facebook Talk Your Ish Sports Podcast. Follow us on Anchor, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. You can lock in with all our journeys, all our guests, former coaches, trainers, current and former athletes, man. Really lock in. We got some amazing journeys, man. And tonight, in our season finale, our 1 year anniversary, this is our birthday, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
Hey, we got another one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
we got another one, like you said. We got a special one, man. We got a special one. We want to end the season off with season one with a bang.
With a big bang, man. Without further ado, I want to welcome founder and CEO behind the Beast Basketball, an elite basketball trainer, an AAU coach, and just a mentor to many, man, and just a Boston hoop legend in the community, man, really leading the way. I want to welcome our brother, Hosea Pulled.
What's up, Boston? How we doing?
Yeah. Let's get it.
What's up?
Before we go and get started, man, I want you to talk a little shit, man. Drop a little story for us, man. Your most memorable or influential basketball memory.
Memory? God. Maybe I forget his name, but every time I see him, he was one of my guys. He's about 6'7". I was playing in the X League down Washington Park. Me, Mitch, and D-Ray, a couple guys. I came down Washington Park's full Saturday. Y'all know how the X League used to be on Saturday.
Yes,
it was crunk. It was 100 people out there. We out there playing for the championship. Playing actually with Ron Diaz, big bro. And we out there. I come down on the post up, dude 6'7", catches me on the post, hits me with an elbow, lays it up, talking smack. D next play down, I'm coming down. D-Ray kicks it to me on the wing. I take one dribble, two hands, and rock it on him.
Yeah.
Get up on him.
Get up on there. Get up there, baby.
I'm 6'2". He might be like 6'10", but I straight put him in the basket.
Yeah.
Oh, man. That was like
R.I.P. the dude. R.I.P.
I had watched the Park crazy. Like everyone will tell you this story. If anybody knows me, they'll tell you this story. I put it down on him.
Damn. That's crazy.
Caught a body in front of the fans, in front of the people.
Yeah, I got a bunch of bodies.
That's just listen.
We'll talk a little shit. I know you got another one. We'll talk a little shit then. I know you got another one. What's up?
Oh man, who else? Who
else got that work?
Right.
Who else? Oh, there's a lot of people that got the work. But UMass Boston caught another body. Me playing with Mitch. I can't remember these dudes' names back in the day, but another baseline. Come two hands, dude guarded Mitch, drop off Mitch, back scratch with two hands, put him in the basket. Put him in the basket.
These dudes got families and kids, and you out here embarrassing them like that.
They got work. Like, yeah. It was funny, man, because I wasn't crazy. I wasn't that talented dude. But I was always a dude that was just gonna outplay you. And I was gonna outplay you, and I was gonna outplay you, and I was gonna outplay you. And that was my game. Like I was gonna play to the end.
Talk about
it. And I played with the best of the best. Ron Diaz, big bro, he put me on. Like that kid used to pick me up, Bailey League, X League, drive me all around, Gallery League. He put me on.
Yeah, that's dope, man. That's lit. Yeah. That's the way we kick it off. I'm like, man,
that's
bodies, baby.
That's big, bro. I'm gonna tell you, Ron Diaz gave me that hood credibility right there. He put me in position. A lot of dudes can play. They on the AAU, so they can't come in the hood and rock.
Right.
I could come in the hood and rock. Like,
let's get it.
Yo, Big Bro, put it on for me.
Shout out to Big Bro, P. Let's get to it, P.
So Jose, tell the people how your sports journey started. Since before putting people in the basket, where did it start? Where did that passion and who put that ball in your hand?
It actually started. I grew up. My parents were strict. So I couldn't even get out and rock like other kids. My aunt, her husband, he was an NBA ball player, Mel Brown. If it wasn't for him, this basketball journey does not exist. So, my getaway was to go to my aunt's house, and I used to carry his bags to the Shelburne, and I used to just watch him play. And I was a little kid, just carrying his bag to the Shelburne, watching him play. Then I would always ask my mom and dad, can I go to auntie's house? And he would always take me to the game and then take me in the basement and work me out. So that's where I think the work ethic started, because he used to work me out in his basement, but I would just go watch him play. And when I would watch him, I was a late bloomer in basketball. I think I started around like 14 before I realized that, you know what, maybe I can play this game. And he just started teaching me from there. And that's my journey right there. Mel Brown carrying his bag to the Shelbourne every Saturday night to get away, you know what I mean, from my strict parents. I fell in love with basketball.
Shout out to Mel Brown.
Shout out to Mel Brown.
You know what I mean?
Sweet
Putting
Mel.
the battery in the back.
Yeah, he told me, it's funny. We were in the car one night, and he goes, one day, this light is going to click on for you. And he said, when it clicks on for you, you're going to take off. And I swear, we re-had this conversation maybe 25 years later. After my career it took off so fast. And being a teenager, young man, I was going so fast. I never turned around and say, you know what, thank you for that journey. Thank you for introducing me to, I was on go mode, which is why I do what I do now. You know what I'm saying? Like I can appreciate and have these conversations with kids now, because once I hit it, I never look back.
That's
word. So when he was working you out, man, and you're gonna watch him play, man, was there a particular moment watching him play, or during those workouts, or just like on your own playing pickup, when you decided, like, what was the moment when you decided, like, yo, this game of basketball, I want to be great at it?
I probably didn't decide I wanted to be great at basketball or even good at basketball until maybe mid-high school. Because I didn't have the opportunities like everyone else. Like everything for me was pretty much, I was a kid, I had to sneak. I wasn't like, my parents wasn't letting me out after dark. I wasn't going to the X and all that on Saturdays with all the other kids. So I think I went to Brookline High School and I was playing for Lance Tucker. And he had a hell of a basketball program, and he used to work us to death. And I remember I got kicked off the basketball team because my parents found out that I was sneaking. I lied to them and told them I was going to a MECO after school program and I was going to practice. So I'm going to the games, playing, and they found out. So my coach came to my crib and was like, "Yo, your son can play. You all never come." My parents never seen me play, really. My dad never.
They didn't want you to play sports at all, or
no. Everything was go to church. You know what I mean? Got to be on church Monday, Wednesday, Saturday, Sunday. That was my life. Like, we grew up with a very religious family, so it was hard. And my dad just worked all the time. He believed that you should be just working all the time. So basketball was kind of tough. And I had my first breakout game. I got suspended. They let me come back. And with that game, I came back. We played Newton North, our rivals. And that was my biggest breakout game to kind of put me on the map. And I figured I could play this game.
So talk about that game, man. What happened,
man? Oh, man.
I sat on the bench.
Gym.
Bring us into that gym that night.
Bring us to that gym. That gym, all right, this is exactly how that gym went. I can see Brookline Newton North right now. It's packed. They pull the fire alarm. Everyone clears the gym and re-enter the gym. So now the ball cannot go out of bounds. And if you've been to Brookline gym, it's huge. So it's baseline to baseline of people. I'm sitting on the bench. I think we were down, I can remember, 30-16. He put me in, halftime score 32-30. I played the whole second half. They had a dude who was just getting buckets. I locked him down, and I think I finished with like 16 points that game. And that was like my biggest breakout game. And it was because of our rivals. Like my name was all over the place, school newspaper. So people figured out I could play this game for a little bit, and I could shoot. Like,
the coming out party.
Coming out, and I could shoot. That was my thing. My uncle was Mel Brown, who introduced me to this game. I had no handle, but I could shoot.
So what year was that? What year in high school was you in? Was it that was
90? I graduated in 92, so it was probably 90. Like 90, 91 was my breakout year. 91 was my breakout year.
Freshman year?
I was a junior.
Okay.
I was a junior in high school. That was my breakout year of really, I started to come into my own, create a name for myself. And that's when I realized that I could play.
Right. So after that breakout year, your junior year. So how was your summer like? Because that's when you're training and all that stuff. Did you amplify your training? How was that? Like you?
So you got to remember back in the day there was no trainers.
Right.
So
right.
like they weren't doing this today. It's just me. I got a 50-pound weight vest on. I'm training with my uncle. He got this little home stairs, home universal weight bench in this basement, you know, and that was my training, you know, and the other training that we really learned how to was kind of part of gym class in Brookline, but no one really did basketball training back then.
Right.
You know, and I tell kids today, especially like I tell my son, like, I'm your cheat sheet.
Right.
They weren't doing this back in the day. Like they weren't doing this. Like I studied the game, which I learned from Coach Mitch, the GOAT, how to really, really study the game and study training and study how the body works. They didn't do this back in the game.
Right.
Back in the day, you just kind of jogged, ran a couple hills, and you went out there and played, and that was your game. You know, ball handling drills was sitting in a chair and just dribbling up and down behind you, and you had handle. You know what I'm saying? Or you see the dude dribbling up and down the street. That was drills.
Right.
So, you know, and my dad worked us to death, so I really didn't get that. But we didn't have training back in the day. It was just, you kind of had to figure it out on your own.
Right. Because that's because you look at training, like you said, now, like you have all these trainers left and right. Because before, even like, because I was in high school in the 2000s, we didn't have trainers like that.
No.
I mean, you were out there in the park getting it on your own. You know what I mean?
Right. Right.
Luckily, you may fall into an uncle that or a father that played the sport that's going to kind of walk you through it. But nowadays, I feel like a lot of these kids, like you just said, have the cheat sheet right in front of them.
Right in front of you. Yeah. And going back to that right there, what you're just saying, being the cheat sheet, like for me, my cheat sheet is not only being a trainer, but I'm a dad. You know what I'm saying? I'm a father. I'm a mentor. So I think anybody can go on YouTube and say, hey, I'm a trainer.
Right.
I'm a trainer. But when your son or your daughter comes to me, like I can have those conversations. I look at it from a dad's perspective. Because a lot of challenges kids have and all that kind of stuff. And the way I train so hard, doesn't come from basketball. You know, it doesn't come from on the court. It can come from at home. They could have had a bad day. They could have had anything with you. And when they come to me, I always look at it, you know, that's what made me a successful coach too. Because the different challenges that come with training, I think being a parent was like, really took me over the top.
Can you be more specific? Like exactly like what were some of those challenges that you had to face with the kids?
Okay, so I come and I push all of my training very, very, very like extremely hard. It's all about mental tough. So I'm gonna break your kid. I'm gonna bring and see how mentally tough they are. You know, and some are failing in school, some are not eating at home. Like some of the challenges they get in my gym, and I'm asking you to flip this 200-pound tire up and down for 3 minutes. You know, these kids are frustrated and they have these breakdowns, and I'm looking as a dad, I can recognize that, you know what, this challenge or this struggle is not because they're not strong. It's not because they're not physically strong. There's something else going on. You know what I'm saying? And as a dad, these are conversations I have with kids. Come to the office real quick. What's going on? Do you need food? Like as a coach, and when I coached expressions, you know, I had kids staying at my house sleeping just so they showed up on the game on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, or feeding these kids so they can play on Saturday and Sunday. Like that was my house. You come to my house on Friday night, we're knocking on doors. Kids no parents, nobody answered. These kids are not eating. That's one of the challenges I had as a trainer and a coach. Like a lot of struggles from these kids today are not whether they're skilled enough or mentally tough. The challenges are coming from at home.
Right.
So, you know, I recognize it as being older, that I recognize, okay, maybe it's not this basketball. It's something else, a conversation they might be afraid to have at home. But I build these rapport with these kids so they have those conversations with me.
All right. How important are those conversations with these kids? Because like you said, it's you're showing these kids it's bigger than basketball. You know what I mean? Now you're asking them like your personal life, how you feeling? Because a lot of coaches don't really sit down and build these relationships with these players. So how important is that those conversations that you have with these players?
Those conversations are everything to me. Like they're everything to me, because what I noticed, everyone's not gonna make the NBA. I know that everybody's not good, you know. And I always have this thing. I'm like, I want everyone to go to school for free. I don't care if it's Division 1, 2, or 3. I'm skilled enough as a trainer to teach your kid to go to school for free. You shouldn't have to pay, right? So when I'm training and I'm having these conversations with these kids, to me, it's not about whether you're going to the NBA or whether you're going to Kentucky or Duke. It's like, okay, you're struggling right now. How do I get you just in school? Right? I can see as a trainer, you're not going D1. I can see as a trainer, you're not going D2. Some kids just don't have it. Some kids, their parents want it more than them. I know that too. So my job is, how do I reach you to make a decision that you want to come here and show up every day, you know what I mean, and train and get to these points. So those conversations and some conversations they're afraid to have with their parents.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So even having those conversations with them helps me as a dad keep open conversation with my son, because I don't ever want to be in that position when I'm sitting with a kid and I'm sitting across from him and some of the conversations he's afraid to have with his mom and dad. When I'm done, I'm like, whoa, I don't want my son to ever be in that position to feel like, you know, he can't talk to me. You know, and we have that a lot in our community. You know, these kids feel like they got to keep this facade up. You know, I'm a tough guy, or, you know, nah, really? Like, I'm here. And I tell them, hey, there's nothing about, you know, putting your hand over a kid's shoulder and be like, yo, I got you. You know, yeah, I'm here. Just have this conversation with me. And they do. And they want to talk. So, and I've learned that, like, so much with the coaching and training, like it goes hand in hand. And then that's when you start to see the success. Because now you're creating a student athlete, right? Because they're getting it done on both ends now. And sometimes they surpass the goals that I have for them, or even they have for themselves.
Yeah, no, that's, and that's big. Because a lot of times, you know, in terms of my experience growing up and what I remember, and then just like friends and teammates that I play with, man, you know, sports was more so an outlet for a lot of guys, you know, in terms of just what was going on at home or off the field. It was more so, how can I express this anger, this frustration? Yes. It wasn't until, you know, I got a little older, it wasn't in high school or college or even after, man, like, you know, you get to experience teammates or even yourself where, like, I'm playing this game because I just want to play for the love of the game. Right. You know, I think what you're doing in terms of the training, and especially the mental toughness part, man, you're opening up windows for these guys. You're turning on lights in their head, like, you know, because I think a lot of them know, a lot of them might know too, like, hey, I know I'm not, you know, going to make it, you know, pro or D1 or not, but, you know, if I can take these lessons and I can translate them to you know, whether it's in the workforce, entrepreneurship, or just or being a creative, whatever it is, you know, they feel comfortable knowing that I can meet any challenge that comes at me because they're hanging with you.
Right. You know, and I tell these, and that's it's funny you said that, because I just had a kid. I just got a job at New Heights Charter School, and I'm a head basketball coach.
Lit. Congratulations, big dog. Big things popping.
Yeah, we're going to get that rolling too. But I was talking to a kid the other day, and I looked at him, and I said to one of my assistant coaches, I said, he's either going to run the streets, and I mean, he was a leader, or we're going to get him to lead on this basketball court. I said, either way, he's going to be a leader, but we need to get him first. He just had that drive and that personality, you know, and I would walk and I would see him. You know, I worked for the city of Boston for 10 years. So I kind of got familiar with these kids who are about that. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, okay, this is a perfect opportunity to talk to him. Get that basketball, roll it out, come shoot a layup. Let me see if you got this jump shot. Let me see what kind of handle you got. Make you a little bit comfortable. Start having these conversations. And, you know, I had a conversation with him, and I just start to see the leadership in him. But he wasn't in position, like with the school, wherever his life was going, he was going down the wrong path. But you know what? He's with me every single day right now. He said, I'm going to lead your basketball team. I said, you think you can lead a basketball team that I coach? He said, I'm going to lead it, flat out. I said, that's what I want. That's what we need. You know, our kids need that. Like, if we don't set that example, if we're not leading them, somebody's going to lead them, or they're going to lead somebody else, you know, and it's a choice. And I think we're in position of power. And I think we hold the balance of power, especially as Black men and young Black men.
No, I definitely agree with that. I mean, because it's like, it's all about grabbing, I feel like, the kid's attention. You know, I feel like whether it's a basketball, football, baseball, whatever, once you have that attention, what are you going to do with it?
Right.
It's either you're going to steer that kid the right way or just let him fail. I mean, and like I said, us as Black men, we need that leadership. We need that guidance, because we go through so much on a daily and our personal, and we feel alone. And when you have somebody that's really vouching for you, that's really kind of try to guide you through life, it's rare for some, but once you get that love and that appreciation from a person that you kind of open up with, I mean, sky's is the limit with that person. I mean, you can help them accomplish anything and everything in life.
Right. And do you ever think sometimes, you know, from a basketball trainer's perspective, like a lot of conversations we're having with these kids, that's the first time they're hearing that.
Right.
That
Right.
love conversation, I care about you, can make it. They're not even ever hearing that at home, right? So the question is, why aren't the people that love me the most having these conversations with me?
Right.
Right? That's a lot of kickback that you get when you're dealing with kids. Like, why aren't the people that love me the most having these conversations? But I got this guy who's pushing me every day to move these tires and push these sleds. He believes in me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so I think, man, I just think that's so important, man. Like,
it's funny that you say. I was watching this interview with Carmelo Anthony. It came out probably on Sunday. What's it called, with Gilly and Wallow, and he was saying that the first time he felt love or felt like a hug was from his coach Boeheim when he got to college. And it's crazy that a grown man, like, you know what I mean, first time experiencing love and getting a hug was from his coach in college.
Yeah, it happens, man. It happens.
Is there, in terms of like, is there anything that you can look back on your journey and say, I would do that over again?
You know what? To be honest, no. Because I think my journey made me who I am today, and my experience is going to allow these kids today to be the leaders of tomorrow. Right? I tell my son all the time, I'm your cheat sheet. My mistakes, anything that I've done, the reason I'm here is because of those mistakes. But they're the same mistakes, the reason you're not going to make those mistakes. Right? And when I'm with these kids, and I train a lot, and I talk to kids a lot off of experience. A lot of our men are not going to share and say, hey, I was weak at this point. This is what happened. I went through this. Guys don't say that. You know what I mean? I always want my son to believe I was the best. You know, I was this guy. But you know what? That's not what's going to make him a better man. It's going back and say, you know what? I walked this road. I got to the fork of the road and I went left. You know, so my experiences, I think, made me who I am for Behind the Beats. For every kid that I encounter that has that challenge, I can share my stories and share my experiences with them so they don't make that. So I don't regret that. I don't regret anything at all, because I think without those experiences, I'm not here talking to you.
Right. Yeah. So for all the non-believers, man, we've heard you say and mention that you're a cheat sheet for your son. You're a cheat sheet for, the guys you coach and mentor, man. For all the non-believers, man, who say the game, like who can say like, hey, you've been away from the game for 20 years. You haven't played, and the game of basketball has evolved. Players are more athletic. Guys are shooting 3 balls. Less defense. Tell the non-believers, man, why you still are a relevant cheat sheet for the players today.
Well, I'm very old school, and I'm a very, very, very much student of the game. Right, so I follow the game from I was a Michael Jordan fanatic. And I studied Kobe. I didn't like Kobe too much because Kobe was trying to be like Mike. But I have evolved with
Hey, we don't do no Kobe slander on here,
oh,
brother.
listen. Oh, no, listen. I didn't say I didn't like Kobe. I said when Kobe was playing, I didn't like him because Mike was my man. So I was kind of biased with the Mike and Kobe. Anybody who was compared to Mike, I was biased with. But, Kobe was a legend, God rest his soul. But I learned something from Coach Mitch. Like, and me and Mitch's boys, I used to watch Mitch dominate the high school scene. I mean, beat the brakes off of everybody. I used to get drunk. Me and Mitch we drinking at his crib, and we down there watching film. I'm like, why are we down here watching film, Mitch? It's Friday night. Like, He's like, Raj, if you're gonna do this, you got to be good at it. And I used to be like, yeah, whatever, drinking. Then I became a coach, and I was like, damn. My thing was, I was too afraid to let Mitch down. I didn't even care about winning. I was like, I know how much work Mitch puts into this game. He taught me how to put the same amount of work in and be a student of the game. And I was too afraid to almost come home and be like, damn, Mitch, I got pumped this weekend. Right? So I'm overstudying. I'm overcoming. I'm old school. And I'm on defense. I'm on lockdown. I'm creating these beasts, these dogs. And I'm like, I started winning and I got obsessed with it. Like, and I became such a student of the game. Like, I know everybody's game. I still study everybody's child. I look at your son right now and I go, man, if I had to guard him, how would I shut him down? And all his weaknesses surfaced to me. But I did that about every kid. And I would bring that into my training, then into my practice. We beating people by 40, 50, So for all the non-believers, like, I'm very old school with my training in the mental toughness. but I'm very relevant to like what's going on, right? I'm very relevant to what's going on, who does what, who does it the best. If someone's running a 2-1-2 defense, I'll break it down to the top 10 schools in the country. And I'll break it down to the top 3 schools in the country who runs it the best. And we're gonna run it. And we're gonna be running like the number 1 school. So I'm very, 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 very old school when it comes to that. But I'm a student of the game, man. So I study what's going on. I notice there's no hand checking. It's not physical like we were. But I teach my kids to be physical. Like I teach them to bump. I said, check them a little bit, bump them a little bit, hand check them, test, see where his heart's at.
That's the water.
Yeah, right. I want to see what everyone's built like. That's me. Like if he don't have the ball, put your hand in his chest, touch him a little bit, bump him with your shoulder, see where he's at. And I just try it, man. I just see a lot of kids are not built like that. No one's really telling them like, we're old school. You had to play with hand checking. You had to be physical. Like I don't call fouls in practice. You got to play through it. You got to play through it. And like once you teach these kids this mentality, and I have a runs right now, which is I try to keep it like the best 15 and under in Massachusetts. And I do 15 players max. You come in the gym, invite only, and we run every Saturday. And that's my give back to the kids. I critique their games. I let them play because now that I'm not coaching AAU, I can critique everybody. Right. You know what I'm saying? So I give them my feedback on what I think the game should look like. And
sign me up, coach. Sign me up, coach.
Listen.
I got 7 minutes. I got 7 minutes and 6-5.
October, our gym is opening in Brockton. I want to see y'all there.
I mean, I got 7 minutes. I got 3.5 in the first half, 3.5 in the second half.
That's all right. I'm gonna get you double digits in that time right there. I wanted to play right for you. Butt naked layups.
You got 7 minutes there. You got 7. That's it.
That's it. 7 minutes. 7 minutes of oxygen.
That's what I mean. 20. 7 minutes.
I'm just trying to come and have an impact. You know what I mean? Come and have an impact, man.
Jose, so who were the people that like pushed you and supported you the most throughout this journey?
I have to be honest. My wife has always been in my corner. Like September 1st was 20 years. I've been married. So we've been together forever. She's been my ace in the hole. And like my immediate family, like people who've been part of that journey since I was young. My brother, Amandi Music, Mitch, and like my circle, my tight immediate circle who's been part of that journey, they push me, you know. And besides that, I'm kind of like, I'm very self-driven. Mm-hmm. So I'm very self-driven. I don't look, for handouts. I don't look for people. Anybody who knows me knows I'm who I am. Right? I'm very, focused, laser driven, and like I will outwork anybody in the gym, right? I'll die before I quit. That's me. That's my drive, but it's always been like my brother, like I said, my wife, my cousins, like people who've been part of that journey since I was young. They've supported me the most. But now Behind the Beast is a movement. Like, so the people I have supporting it now, they're like really, 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 really behind it. It's a big movement right now.
So talk about it, man. Where can folks find Behind the Beast, man? What it's all about, man, and exactly tell the folks, man, what type of players you're looking for.
Right now, as a trainer, you have to be able to get after it. Everyone knows Behind the Beast is all about mental toughness. It's about, your strength and conditioning, how bad you want it. You're gonna work hard every time you walk in the gym. I don't care if you had the worst day in the world. That means nothing to me. I'm gonna push you beyond your limits, and that's me. I love to tap into your mental toughness, and I'm gonna do that to every adult. I'm a fan of nobody who walks in my gym. So, and every basketball player who's walked in Behind the Beast will tell you, I'm not your fan. I'm probably your worst enemy when you walk in Behind the Beast, but you'll come out a different player, right? You're gonna come out mentally tough. You're gonna be able to come out. You're gonna get after it. Worst case scenario, you're gonna be in shape. That's the worst thing you're gonna get out of Behind the Beast. So I ran it out of Gallivan Community Center for about 3 years. Then I was running out of Mattahunt. Mattahunt shut down because of COVID. And now we're in New Heights Community Center in Brockton. We have a brand new gym that will be opening next month. So everything from Behind the Beast will be at New Heights Charter School of Brockton. Brand new gym. We're about to shoot a brand new video. It's gonna be crazy. We're gonna have all our dogs in there. You're gonna see everybody from Mass that rock with us. They're gonna be there.
Let's get it. That's dope. That's lit, man.
We're gonna get it.
How'd you
Are you mainly in Brockton? You're training?
I train everywhere. I train in Newton, Dedham, Carlisle, Weston. It doesn't matter. Brookline. I train everywhere. Yeah, I stay busy, man. I train I train everywhere.
Listen, folks. He's everywhere, man. He's
Everywhere.
If you hungry, if you're trying to find that inner beast, tap in, man.
Tap in, absolutely.
Tap in. Tell everyone, I know we talked a little bit before we got on the air, man, but tell everyone the story about how this came about, how you got into coaching and in the birth of Behind the Beast.
Oh yeah. Back in the day, we started out, and like I said, we was a sweatshop. We were working in the Gallivan Community Center. There was no AC, gym was hot, and we used to just train in like miserable conditions. But I used to be like, damn, who wants to do this? Like, there's no AC, the windows don't work. It was just bad. So you just had to want it to come in and train like that. And we started off with like 5 kids, and 5 turned into 20, then 30. Then we had adults. We had people just coming in for the conditioning. That was the sweatshop. That name changed. Like I said, I was partnering with someone who didn't share the same vision. So we started Behind the Beast, and I was the puppet master behind creating these monsters of kids. Like, I want these kids to come in. I'm going to test their mental toughness. Then I'm going to put them on the floor. And I used to play these. And then when I started coaching with Expressions, that 6th, 7th, and 8th grade, our kids would, beat the brakes off of kids. Like, I always used to tell my kids, we can never lose in Massachusetts. That was the first thing. We would never lose in Massachusetts, right? We would have to leave home before we lose. So these kids would just, coach, we breaking them. Coach, we breaking them. They knew when fatigue was set in. They would recognize that other teams weren't training like they were training. Right. And with that, everybody wanted to be Behind the Beast. And, it just really, 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 really took off to a another level where everyone thought that I could do that to every team, but I couldn't. I could do it to players, but I wasn't training every team like that.
That's dope, man.
Yeah. That's Behind the Beast. And right now I'm doing strictly, no more AAU coaching, but I'm the head coach of New Heights Charter School, Brockton. Behind the Beast, I'm still training. We're doing well.
Super lit, man. So more along the lines of what it takes to build something special, to build something from the ground up, to chase a championship in your journey as a coach, as a player, in your experiences of chasing championships, man. Tell the people, share with the people, what kind of sacrifices you've had to make throughout this journey.
It takes time. It takes all of your time. It takes time away from your family. It takes time away from your kids when you're chasing something like that. I could just, share some stories like my son, he played for me, and I hate to lose, and we're always chasing championships. One day he's like, man, Dad, you cheer for all these other kids, but you don't ever cheer for me. And I'm like, I was always afraid what other people were thinking in my drive of chasing these championships. And, and I'm pushing him. And I'm like, man, like, this is not really working. You know what I'm saying? And I was winning championships every day. And and I realized, like, I lost more chasing championships than I gained. Like, I would win championships every week, and it was like unappreciative because I had an organization who really didn't believe in the kids like I did. So I was using my trainer aspect of taking these kids, bringing them in. We're beating everybody because I'm building this program of mental toughness, but these organizations who didn't think these kids were good enough. So I'm winning championships every Sunday, 10 in a row. Organization doesn't call and say, hey, you're doing a great job. We appreciate you. Then I got parents, you're not playing my kid enough. No, thank you. Then I'm losing a relationship with my son. Not only am I his dad, I'm his coach, I'm his trainer. Something got to give, right? So the sacrifice I was making was, was it worth it in the end? I don't know. We won the championships, and I've won, oh my God, a lot. But it's a serious.
Talk your shit, fam. Talk your shit. You can tell people how many rings you got. Okay. It's all good. Talk your shit.
We pretty much pumped everybody. Like anybody.
All right. What division? What region? Tell the folks where y'all gone. And
so Expressions. So everybody knows Expressions is elite when it comes to AAU. So talk our shit. Everybody got booty clapped. So everyone that caught at least a 30 piece, some 40, some 50, some 60, some 70. When was the worst? What's the worst beat? I think we beat somebody 100. They stopped the clock when we was up 107 to 10, I think.
107?
Listen, and we talking about 14-minute quarter, 14-minute half.
Wow.
Jeez,
So
you are impressive, huh?
I'm gonna just tell you right now, and whoever coached 2024, 6th, 7th, 8th grade in Massachusetts, if you bring them on talk that shit, they gotta admit they got booty clapped by that expression 2024 team. We straight pump everybody. Everybody. If there's a battle of the belt, I own them. Cups, I own them. The ring, I own them. They are all at my crib. I own everything. I own everything. I own everything. My son got 3 years of trophies in his room, all Massachusetts. I got them. So
not you, the king of the hill.
Oh,
not you, king on the hill.
And the crazy part, I quit before I got knocked off.
Wow.
Just walked
away before I got knocked off.
Just walked away.
So listen, they don't want me back out there. I'm gonna tell you that right now. They don't want that smoke.
What?
You give me seven dogs, I'll finish the rest.
Geez. Was there any conflict or like angry parents, other angry coaches, other organizations that was like, yo, like this is unfair, like this is not what you're supposed to be doing?
Oh, absolutely.
Talk about it.
What I was building was a culture of, okay, I'm gonna teach you what high school is gonna be really like. I'm gonna teach you what college is gonna be real like. Yes, you pay your $450, $750, whatever you pay for your kid to play, but they don't play. I play 7 rotations, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, get your pom-pom. You cheer. I don't put you in. I'm like, do you watch college basketball? Yeah, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, they don't get it. You watch NBA basketball? 8 through 15, that dude's jacket don't come down. So if you understand the game, that's the way I coach. And that's the way and parents, I pay my money, you put my kid in. No, I only coach to win. That's it. If I got 6 dogs that are playing, them are the 6 dogs that's good. Everyone else, get ready and cheer along, right? You might get in that next game, but I play 7 and I go 7 deep, 8 through 12. You're a cheerleader unless we're up 30 or down 30.
So with that, so that we don't have anybody who's watching this get the instinct that's saying, okay, my kid's not coming to that school. So I want to make sure that we get some dogs coming to you. So I want you to clear this up for me. So when you say 7, 8 through 15 don't play. Now, if a kid is, let's say he's at the start of the season, he's 8, 9, 10, whatever in that on the back end of the rotation, but he's working his ass off every day in practice. You see the development. I mean, he's ready. He's ready to play. I mean, because that's what also the game is all about. It's also about winning, but it's all about the development piece. So right. I don't want folks to see this episode and then say, okay, if only 6 people are playing, then he's not developing kids. So let's clear the air on that.
Okay, so what we do is like we'll go 7 deep, 7 dogs, and then 8, 9, and 10 you earn your spot in practice, right? So we're going out there where you're beating out the guy in front of you. Like a lot of the guys from 1, 2, 3, they get comfortable, right? I don't want them to ever get comfortable. I want 8, 9, and 10. I want you to battle them in practice. Go take their minutes, like take it away from them, right? Nothing's ever given to you, right? So I always teach them like, okay, we're gonna get in practice. You got a right to play, but I want you to earn that right to play. I want you to work yourself. I'm not just gonna put you in and just say, hey, the game's 10 points, game 12 points. I'm gonna play. We lose by 3 because I let you play, right? So coaches understand the game. They understand schemes. They understand what's going on. I coach the game. So I coach by the game. Now, if you're busting your tail in practice, you earned your time. I believe everyone earns their time in practice. But I believe you can beat the guy out in front of you in practice too. So now you got 9 dogs that are ready to go because they understand that for me to get in this game, I'm going to have to earn it here, right? And so that's the lesson. When you get to high school, same thing happens, right? It's not me. You get to college, same thing happens. And the way I help kids a lot of time, I go, you guys play PlayStation? Yeah. How many guys y'all play when y'all play PlayStation? Y'all use all 12? No. Why? Why don't you use 8, 9, 10, 11, 12? Because they bum. I said, see, I'm gonna let y'all say it, right? I'm gonna let y'all say it. That's why y'all don't play it. Y'all play 2K, I don't play it. I get on 2K, y'all stay with your first 5, sub in 6, 7, but why don't you play 8, 9, and 10?
The ratings are like 60, so we're not
exactly. And I say, okay, y'all get mad, right? You see that, right? So what happens is that's what other people are saying too when they're watching the game, right? I'm not the only one. I'm coaching the game, but you're watching it, right? As a parent, as a spectator, I put this kid in the game. You're gonna be like, oh, what is he doing? You know what I'm saying? Just like you all wouldn't put that guy in the PlayStation because you go about to lose this game. It's the same, and that's how I relate to kids. And they start laughing, but they understand what I'm saying.
right.
You know what I'm saying? They understand what I ask kids all the time, would you play you? What's your rating right now? Would you play you? If you was playing PlayStation with the way you play right now, would you play yourself in that game? Nah, coach.
Absolutely, baby. Let's get it. Like
That's
I said,
it.
3.5 in the first, 3.5 in the second.
Yo, that's how I help them understand. Yo, and we laugh and we build that relationship, but then inside they're saying, you know what? I gotta go get after it.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
You know, so I gotta find, you just find a way to relate to them and send that message without saying, without killing them. You find something they like, build that rapport with them, and they'll get after it for you.
Right. So everything is earned during practice.
Absolutely.
Earn it, man. So how do you go about teaching, the importance of habits, of routines, of not going fast, but doing it correctly? Because I think that's what the game, just from what I remember and how I wasn't as an athlete, man, routines, technique, and really committing to the process. Can you speak to that?
Yeah. For me, I've learned that, especially with practicing and coaching over the few years that I did coach, you can't combine skills and drills with workout out. So for me, practice is about execution. So it's not about your child. It's not about your child getting better. It's about how well can we actually execute these plays. We're going to walk through the offense. We're going to walk through the defense. And, even an hour and a half or 2 hours of walkthrough is not enough time. So I separate my skill work from practice, right? So I figure if you practice for 45 minutes and you do skill work for 45 minutes, you're only going to be half as good at everything. There's going to be about 4 kids that don't understand. So you need to know that all 12 guys understand, right? So it's about slowing the game down, teaching the game, finding that time to teach the game, but you can't combine the both and expect yourself to have a good team. So if you watch great players and you watch great teams, that's what the off season's for, right? So the off seasons, let's go get after the weights. Let's go get our bodies right. That's the off season. When you come in for a regular season, you should just be fine tuning what you've done in the off season. You're not going hard no more. You're not lifting 300 pounds in the gym no more when the season starts. You're just fine tuning what you did, and you're learning how to execute, learn your players, learn your teammates, right? And I feel like that's the best thing for kids learning. Build that foundation, talk to them, walk through. All right, today might be all defense. We might not touch a basketball today. We're going to go through every defensive set. We're going to walk through them till we master, till we're in the right place at the right time, till our rotations are right, till we're communicating right. If I'm doing layup drills at the same time, how do they really get the concept of the defense? Right? How do they ever just get it? They don't. You have to put in the time. And for me, that's what's worked for me. I separate the time and I put in all the time to one thing until they get it.
That's dope. So how important has social media been for you as a trainer?
It's crazy because I'm not a big social media guy. Like I'm real old school. Like I'll put some stuff up. I have a cousin who'll be like, man, Rod, you got to shoot more videos. You have to do this shit. Like that to me doesn't matter as much. I'm really about the kids pushing themselves. Yeah. I'll bring in video guys. Y'all want this? You want to videotape and shoot this stuff? I'll do it. I think it's huge. I'm very old school when it comes to social media. I'm behind the beast. You'll never really see me up there too much. You'll see all kids. If you follow both of my pages, you're gonna see my kids. But you won't see me in it. And if you come to my gym, I do this. Anything I ask them to do, I can do. Like I get behind the tires, I push the tires, I do the battle rope, I do the push sled. I get in there and I battle with them. So I really try to do as much stuff outside of my training. So when I get into the gym with them, I can, because a kid in a heartbeat asks you, can you do this too?
Right.
You got those kids. You push the kid, he can't breathe. He's gonna be like, well, you do it. You got to be able to flip a 250-pound tire and flip it and flip it and flip it and flip it, and then brag and talk my shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I gotta stay right for that.
All right. Was there throughout the journey, and I think we covered a lot, but throughout the journey, man, has there been any particular or specific types of adversity that you had to face, and how did you go about either on or off the court, and how did you go about handling that as an athlete?
As an athlete or a coach?
Both.
Definitely as a coach. Coach. I had a challenge one time where a kid said I put my hands on, right? So I work for the city of Boston, I'm a mandated reporter. That came back to me, like that probably hit me the hardest as a coach. I had a conversation with a kid, things weren't really going his way. I don't know how it went left, how it went to, and I thank God that the parents are there, my wife was there, and how it got back to, where it got to the kid's dad was threatening me, like, oh man. And I'm like, dude, you know me. Like, you know me. Your kid has been at my house. I've been feeding your kid since he's been in the 4th grade. Like, put my hands on a kid. That was another reason I probably quit.
Mm.
After that, it went so far left. Like, it went so far left, and for me to clear my name and get back and bounce back. And the thing that hurt the most about that adversity were the parents that didn't say anything. The parents that were there, who I treated their kid right. I fed your kid. I rocked with your family. You sat in my living room. You ate at my kitchen table, but you didn't say anything. You just rolled with what was going on. You know what I'm saying? And the people that did come and help clear my name on this was like, oh, come on, man. I was there. Were people I didn't even expect. Were people I didn't even rock with like that. It was the people that was closest to me that didn't say no, but they didn't say yes. They just kind of stayed quiet. So that was kind of a reason I kind of was like, you know what, I need to step back from this and maybe I'll bounce back. But I had to wait till the opportunity was right. But that hit me probably the hardest.
Word. I hear that. What's so in terms of like the adversity piece, man. So I want to get your take on the transfer portal, whether it's in high school or college, man. So a lot of guys now, the player mobility, even in the NBA, like the player mobility is an all-time high. We as athletes, we have the power to change the trajectory of our careers. Even coaches have had this mobility long before we have had it. Can you speak to the importance of it and I guess the pros and cons of folks getting in and out of situations they may deem that's not best for them?
Right.
Their careers.
The transfer first with the transfer portal, it's just like, I tell kids all the time right now, I ask kids, where you want to go to school? I don't know. I'm like, what do you mean you don't know? Like right now, like kids are not, coaches look at these kids and they're talented, but they don't look at like a Tom Brady. What fits the system of your style of play? Do you want to go to Kentucky because Kentucky's big? Do you want to go to Duke because Duke is big? Or do you want to go to a school that's going to play you, right? Do you want to go to school that fits your style of play? Kids don't look into that. Of course, a coach will look at you and go, oh, he's good. He can jump out the gym. He can shoot lights out. But if their system doesn't fit the way you play, when you get there, now you're on the bench, right? I know kids who hit the transfer portal 3 times, right? They're going to, I'm going to take you, I'm going to play. People don't realize in college, they bring you in, but they got another guy who's just like you, who can do what you can do, right? So if you really don't fit in, now you're on the bench, right? So I think you have to put in your work, and I do it a lot because my son's 15 right now. He's 6'3", 6'7" wingspan, dunks, does all that kind of stuff. I'm looking at right now what schools fit his system. Where would he go and play? Nobody wants to be the Steph Curry. They want to be the Steph Curry of Golden State, but they don't want to be the Steph Curry of Davidson. Right. Think about it. Nobody want to say I went to Davidson. Everybody want to go to Duke. They want to go to Kentucky. They want to go to the big schools, right? But they don't want to be the Steph Curry of Davidson. And that's what people need to realize. Find a school that fits your system. Find a school that fits your style of play, and find a coach that says, I believe in you and I'm building around you. Right. Not that you're going to come in the system and play. No, I want somebody to tell my son, I'm going to bring you in, but I'm going to find 5 players to build around you. And then I know you're going to at least play for a couple of years. Right. I think the balance of power of, with these players right now in the NBA, I think it's good. I think we deserve it. I think we need it. But decision making, I don't know. Like I look at some of these guys, they make fast decisions and they're bouncing around. and they're bouncing around. After a while, you just kind of either bounce your way out of the league.
Talk your shit, man. Be specific. Who you talking about? Who you talking about?
Bounce yourself out of the league.
Who you talking about that made a bad decision to go to the wrong team?
Before you find yourself, okay, we'll just look at the Lakers, right? We'll look at the Lakers, and I love LeBron, but you look at the players who are chasing that ring, trying to put that. Look at Russ, right? Russ the dog gets after Melo. He gets after. You look at who else did they just pick up?
They got Rondo back. Right. They got Monk. They got
Rondo was a champion before.
They got Dwight back.
Dwight, right. So you look at some of these dudes who are like chasing rings, putting themselves in a position like, what are you doing? Like, we grew up, dudes played for the same team 10 years. They figured it out, right? They had 5 players.
Not too many. Whoa, there wasn't too many people that figured it out. Come on now. Come on. Who figured it out and when? Tell me. Tell me.
So we had this. Okay, when my era.
Yeah,
my era was Chicago all day.
Right. So Mike had it figured out. Who else figured it out?
Mike had it. Mike had it figured out. Mike had it figured out. Everybody else kind of fell by the wayside.
Right. They settled for their situation. Like the Pat Ewins, he stayed in New York. You know,
right. The only person that figured it out, started to jump around was GP. He ended up in the ring.
So if any of them players went anywhere else, would they win a ring? Would they have won a ring? With Mike playing? Yeah. It didn't even matter right there.
Exactly. Exactly. That's why the player mobility was crucial.
I mean, because
Mike had a monopoly.
If you had a point guard in Houston, I think they would have probably won at least
with that Barkley team.
No, not Barkley team.
Clyde Drexler, Olajuwon.
Yeah,
they had to wait till Mike sat down for them to get those rings.
No, but I'm saying even if they had like a point guard, like a true point guard, because they had Sam Cassell.
They had Kenny.
So them teams Mike beat didn't have no point guard.
The team that Mike beat.
All of them.
Mike beat a bunch of them. Mike he beat the Glove.
No, I think
Stockton.
He beat Stockton, the Glove, Magic.
No, I'm saying Houston specifically.
He beat Dennis Johnson in Phoenix with Barkley and them. Like he beat a couple guys.
Yeah.
No, I'm saying Houston, because I think Houston would have been a look. I don't think a big fight for Mike and that juggernaut, but they would have had a little chance if they had like a. You give them Gary Payton, I think they'll probably have a chance.
He beat Orlando. He beat Penny.
No, he beat
Penny.
Penny was Mike did have that. Mike did have it on that for them 6 years. He had to take a break. He had to take a break. For anybody to take a break.
That's lit, man. All right, man. We covered a lot, man. You dropped a lot of gems, man. What are some of the things that you want to leave with either the young hoopers or the young coaches coming up in terms of inspiration for the journey?
If there was anything I could really say, especially in the coaching and training world, guys, always make the kids first. The kids come first. It's about them. It's about getting them to go to school. It's about getting, furthering their education. Like we have been blessed to be in a position to deal with these kids and help them and guide them and mentor them, but we have to keep them first. It's about them, and it's always bigger than basketball, right? This training and stuff, you build life skills, you build communication skills, like you build relationships, like so much is more. The NBA is far-fetched for a lot of kids, right? And as much as we want it and to say that this kid trained with us and this kid did this and we helped them get there, no. First of all, let's help them get their education and go from there, right? I tell kids, if I can get you to go to school for free, you can become whoever you want from there. It's up to you after that. If you want to come back and train with me once you're in college, come back and train with me. But I can get you there, right? But it's about you first, and it's always about them.
That's lit. What you got, P?
Find that inner beast, man. And once you find that inner beast, and whether it's in basketball, work or whatever, because that beast is gonna drive you to work hard. It's gonna drive you to be passionate about what you're doing. I mean, so definitely find that inner beast in whatever you're doing, whether it's painting, shooting a hoop, or just work, man. Just find that inner beast, man.
Yeah. That's
tap into it. Everyone has it, fellas. Everyone has it. Sometimes we just got to tap into it. Everyone has a beast inside of them.
Right. I think for me, man, there there are no excuses, man, that we can give along this journey. It might get hard, but one of the biggest things that I've benefited from, I think we all have, was either that one coach, that one mentor, that one teacher, it might have been a bus driver. To pull us aside, show us some love, give us some support when we didn't even think we needed it. Just those words of encouragement, that pat on the back, whether it's a meal one day out of the week when you were just extremely hungry, man, or just some money in the pocket just to get on the bus, man. So I say to all the young athletes, all the young coaches, whoever, man, wherever you're at in your career, either whether you're an athlete now or you're holding a 9-to-5 or career as an entrepreneur, whatever it is, man, find a mentor. Mm-hmm. Find a mentor, find a coach. Right. It's important, no matter where you're on the journey, is to surround yourself with a person or a support system that can speak life into you, that can help you identify ways for you to improve and get better. Who can point you in the direction and help you understand your blind spots. Yeah. This journey is so much bigger than the things that we think we know. We don't know what we don't know, and right. And especially as athletes, man, as we're learning the ins and outs of the game, like you said, being a student of the game, being a student of your journey. Mm-hmm. And I think you alluded to it earlier where you said, being your son's cheat sheet. Mm-hmm. He can learn from the mistakes that you made. He doesn't have mm-hmm. to make them, and right. that message transcends to wherever you're at in your career. I'm 32 years old, man, and I look to some older folks to see what I don't have to go through. Right. So let's do that, man. Let's find our coaches, find our mentors, and let's give them their flowers now, man. And I'm happy that Mitch made this connection, that we brought you on our podcast, man, to give you your flowers, man. I'm excited. I'm more excited now. Now that I've learned your journey, is to see it now. You know what I mean?
Thank you.
Hopefully me and Pete can pull up to one of these sessions. Get worked out. You know what I mean? Pause, but and
all day
ties and get after it with you. You know what I mean?
Oh, listen, that door's open, fellas. That door's always open.
I'm in Brockton. That's what I was asking you. I'm in Brockton, so
yeah, that door's open, man. I'm definitely gonna stay in contact with both of you guys, man.
Yeah, definitely. So whatever programs you got going on your camps, your days, man, even your high school games coming up, tryouts, whatever, man, please let us know. We'll post, okay. We'll get the message out there, man. We want to make sure we get some dogs over to you, man. We want to make sure that, the athletes that we know deserve an opportunity to play for a coach like you. To train with someone like you. It's very important, man, especially with the challenges. We know how to get to the next level, man. It's just so hard. It's so competitive, man. So anything that we can help these kids get a competitive advantage, that's what we're here for, man.
Thank you.
Yeah, man.
Salute to you, brothers, man.
Appreciate you, big dog. Appreciate you, man. This is our 1 year anniversary, man. This is Talk Your Shit Sports Podcast has officially turned 1 year old, ladies and gentlemen. We thank you for being on this journey with us. We thank you for tuning in to all the amazing journeys of athletes, coaches, and trainers that have blessed our podcast. Please go on our YouTube channel, our Facebook, wherever you can find us on IG, and spread the word, man. And if there are athletes in your family, regardless of the level of success that they've had, as long as they have a sports journey, they are welcome. This is a home for them. This is a home for you. We thank y'all. We appreciate y'all. We love y'all, man. Until season 2, man, stay blessed, stay up. It's all love. What you got, P?
I'm just happy, man. Just thank you guys for the support, man. This was just an idea. Me and D, we sat down. We talked about this for, a couple of weeks, and we brought it to fruition. It's a year old now, and we're truly blessed and truly thankful, man.
Yeah, man. Find us on our YouTube channel, Talk Your Shit Sports Podcast YouTube channel, Facebook, Talk Your Shit Sports Podcast, Anchor, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you want to find us. Please join us on this journey, man. We love y'all, and we out. Oh.